Funding for this program was provided by Suzanne and Walter Scott Jr. and Gail and Michael Yanni.
Cross to the middle, juggle, diving, touchdown, Nebraska!
First time I saw Coach Osborne, actually after the game, was when I walked onto the bus and he said, "Nice catch, Matt." That was it.
Davison on the deflection. Nebraska's a point away.
Sorry I can't give you more emotion or...
Hey!
That's the way I am.
Holy cow! Touchdown, Tommy Frazier!
Tom got up and talked to the team, and the first thing he said, he said, "We don't have to win this game." And I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing here?
And the national championship is Nebraska's.
Once branded as the coach who couldn't win the big ones, Nebraska's Tom Osborne has won more games in 25 years than any coach in college history. But for Osborne, it hasn't been easy.
The Husker I-back, who pleaded no contest to the assault,
What a paradox. To have such an incredible football season and to have such turmoil, bubbling around. His integrity, his character, being questioned, really, in a way, for the first time at such a national scale.
Often when his players were struggling, Osborne risked his reputation to help.
The one thing that separates Tom Osborne from many, many people is that he deeply, deeply cared. And you could see in his eyes.
Born in 1937 in the small town of Hastings, Nebraska, Tom Osborne's childhood was shaped by the work ethics of agriculture and athletics. His grandfather, Thomas C. Osborne, who would later become a minister, played football for Hastings College at the turn of the century. His father, Charles, played for the same school and so loved the sport that after he graduated, he kept a uniform in the trunk of his car, always ready for a game. But during the Depression, Charles had to travel the state 6 days a week as a salesman. When he was gone, he was deeply missed by his oldest son, Tom.
My dad, as usual, was, I think, sitting there reading a book or something. It came over the radio that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. And I remember him kind of jumping up out of the chair and saying something like, "By gum, I'm going to get into this thing." And he decided at that point that he was going to join the service. Really, the first 10 years of my life, my dad was around very, very little. I saw him on Sundays, basically, during the first 5 years, and then the second 5 years, he was gone totally. So when he did come back from the war, and I was about 10 years old, I knew one thing that he really liked was athletics. I think in an effort to please him, I really redoubled my athletic efforts, and we played some catch with a baseball and football, and we had a basket out behind our house as I was growing up, and we had a light out there, and I remember being out there shooting baskets till 9, 10 o'clock at night, even when it was below freezing. And so I liked athletics, but I think there was a very strong need to gain my dad's approval. And it was really from him that I caught my enthusiasm for football.